Hey folks, it's Brian. We got to play Elderath last night, and we're going to play again next week because of the whole. I went to Chaos Team Con, so we couldn't play, so we made a. This was our makeup game. All right. So when we last left the party, we were fighting skeletons. We eventually destroyed the last 5 skeletons. In fact, it was kind of cool. Wes, in casting his stun cloud, which is charged electrical particles, doing electricity damage. Got special, and the result from that is we get to add in a heat critical to that. So, and he overcharged it, so he pumped 2 magic points into it, so he's doing 2d8 electricity damage and 2d8 heat damage because of that special. That was pretty cool. Electricity does impaling type damage, so the skeletons don't take much from that, but I think they took the full heat, which helped a lot. So I just fried up one really quick because the guy stayed in the circle at the end of the round, and some of them ran because Raymond was still casting his repulsion spell. Okay, so most of them fled. There were 5 left, and we ended up destroying them. During that fight, because Runt was in the middle of 6 of them, right? And Raymond would run in and do heal on him, but then he got hit, he went unconscious, and Raymond did some more healing because Runt was down first with a leg hit. And then Runt got hit in the head that put him unconscious. He went down twice in that fight, and Raymond pumped a bunch of healing into him to keep him running. Okay. So this room. There's a throne, there are gems in it, the walls are red with black marbled veins in it. And it appears to have been consecrated to some evil force. And then made the comment, that's desecrated. Raymond says he doesn't have the skill to address, reconsecrating the space, and looks at Lynn. And she just kind of goes, no, I can't do that, because she's been separated from Lorath. Okay. So we have a little discussion. Okay, do we have time to search? Are we going to raid the throne? We know there are bad guys here, and a bunch of skeletons just ran off to let somebody know something's happening. And while we're doing that discussion, Runt notices that Lynn was doing something with one of the skeletons. Hey, what are you looking at? So she fishes out a necklace from the armor, under the armor of the skeleton with a dagger kind of thing. She says, what do you think of this? And so Runt starts looking at the other skeletons and finds more. Each one of these skeletons has one of these amulets on it. And on the amulet is a scene. It's got a cliff face with a citadel with a tall tower. And while this was going on, after we finished killing the skeletons, Wes went back north to watch from the north to see if anybody's coming and keep an eye out that way. So Raymond comes up to him and shows this thing to Wes, and what do you think of this? And so Wes actually recognizes this scene. It is a representation of one of Forg's keep, or maybe it is Forg's keep, that sits above an abyss. So there's this great cleft in the ground in Forg's kingdom that reaches down to the abyss. And there's a citadel on the edge of it, and it's got a tower, and that kind of is the representation of it. We kind of agreed to keep the amulets because they're evil. We don't want to just leave them around. We don't want that evil cleric to get them and use them again. And Runt is thinking, hey, he's got that undead dagger, or the dagger against undead, and this amulet thing is, to make undead. So he's thinking, jam this thing and see if something happens. Like, sort of, what I had pictured was like the scene from Harry Potter. I don't remember which one, but he's got the tooth of the snake thing. What was that called? I don't remember. Anyway, and he's got the book, right? So stabbing the book. That's kind of what I envision, right? You stab it, you get this against the evil, and get this evil thing. Does something happen? But then there's all this, hey, I wouldn't do that. That might damage your dagger. Well, I mean, you can chip away at a stone wall with a dagger. At the mortar and stuff. So I personally wouldn't have been too worried about it. But anyway. So instead, he grabs one of the swords from the skeletons and does a little puncture on it. Nothing happens. But the sword was damaged. Okay, so we move north, back north, then west. There's this T intersection. And there are 4 zombies to the north and 4 zombies to the south. And they're all bandaged up and have these arcane symbols written on them. Wes does recognize, hey, that looks like Latin. And something about eternal service, maybe? And they're armed with these 2-handed mauls. And so they come towards us. And while they're coming, because they're slow, Wes casts the stun cloud and puts it right in front of him and Alexander. And then Wes and Runt are on the northern side, it's like 20 feet wide. Excuse me. Yeah. So, Lynn casts Earthwall in front of Runt and Raymond, which does in fact cause a funneling effect for all the zombies that come to the stun cloud before they get to any people, which was handy. But of course, we weren't expecting that, and so Runt and Raymond try to make saving throws, and they miss, so they end up falling on their butt. Okay. So with all of the zombies coming through the stun cloud, Raymond did cast his repulsions once, and one of them did flee. But the rest of them get funneled into the stun cloud, and between the stun cloud and Alexander hacking on him and Wes stabbing at him, we end up, destroying all of them. Okay, because, I forgot to mention, Wes got another special when he cast this one, so we're doing 2d8 electricity and 2d8 heat. It was pretty cool. Fry. Okay, so Wes then gets another chance to examine this writing again. And it's written in a poetic kind of verse kind of thing. And Lynn also reads Latin, and so between the two of us, we discern that it's a dedication of these bodies to Forg and his servants. Okay, so we've killed the zombies. We go north further, because there's more discussion now. Okay, we kill this out. We know that the shrines are further north. Do we want to do that? Or do we want to get out and get Raymond a chance to regenerate some magic points? Or what? And kind of say, okay, Raymond thinks he can handle one more encounter because he's getting tapped out with all the healing. So we go back up north again and then go west toward the shrines, and then the Hall again tees north and south. And Lynn tells us there's shrines in both directions. Flashing south, though, Wes got the flashlight back on. The room has pillars in it, and so Wes is thinking definitely something there. We should go north instead. But Runt takes off south. So we go south. Runt's hiding behind one of the pillars, looking around. Wes just comes down. He's flashing the room. There's this. It's 30 by 40. 4 pillars like in the middle, and again the room is red with black veins. There is an actual altar here with 4 vessels on it, and there's this tapestry against the south wall. And the tapestry on the south wall is again this representation of Fork Citadel on the edge of the cliff with the tower. So Wes goes to the western edge, pulls the tapestry back, and using the flashlight, he's looking for secret doors. So he's going through. Meanwhile, Runt and Alexander are grabbing the thing and just pulling it down. And Raymond's watching the north, make sure nobody comes to get us. Okay, the vessels on the tapestry are bronze. There's a shallow bowl. There's 2 goblets and like a pitcher pouring kind of thing, right? Wes checks around the altar for secret doors or compartments. Doesn't find anything, so he goes back north with Raymond to watch, see what's happening. Meanwhile, Alexander and Runt are vandalizing the place. They tear the tapestry down. They pour oil on it. They start it on fire. They stick it in a corner. They take the bronze vessels on the altar and they throw them at the wall, and you just have a little emotional temper tantrum, as he called it. Okay, so they come back up to where we are, and we're hearing preparations to the north. Oh no, yeah, we hear preparations to the north. So we're thinking, let's make an ambush. So we back up into the east-west hallway from the north-south. Runt drops the torch down south of the T, so that as they come by, they'll be lit up and we can see them and that kind of stuff. Well, we're setting up our ambush. Four acolytes come out of a door behind us. So there's a nice little encounter with Lynn where she pulls her hood up and two of the acolytes turn to stone and somebody throws up a sphere of darkness so we can't see anything. Now, those of us were in the sphere. Most of us were. And so Alexander backs out. Runt was already out, I think. And then Wes, starts to back out. Well, it turns out he opens his hand for the flashlight because it lasts for 50 minutes, right? Opens his hand, doesn't see anything because he can't see his hand. Okay, so he backs up until he can see the light. And that's how he knows that it's a sphere of darkness kind of thing. Alexander, on the other hand, goes the other direction. He walks forward to get to the statue. He shimmies around it so he's behind it. And then he backs out so he knows he's gone straight through to the other side. And there's kind of not a cut scene, but we, party separated, right? So Alexander is on the other side of the sphere of darkness, and there is some light coming from the south, and that's where the entrance to this area of the caverns is. So he goes down to that entrance. Sure enough, the door is open, and he looks out there, and he can see two people, running. So he pulls out his bow, and he's got this skill called skirmish, which allows him to fire missile weapons while moving. So he shoots twice, and then he starts doing his skirmish thing, and he ends up shooting them a couple times. I don't think he actually got one of them, down all the way. He took the guy's arm out for sure. I remember watching that. It was like 13 points to his arm. And it's one of those bows that's we used to call them war bows, where the poundage is just your strength, so you get your damage modifier on. But anyway, so he's shooting down, and while that's going on, those of us on the other side can hear north again, chants and stuff. So they're casting spells, prepping up to attack us. And so Raymond says, okay, we need to retreat. And so we all, shimmy through the sphere of darkness again, and then Raymond and Runt actually go into the room that the acolytes came out of, and that might be a good idea, but Wes is going, that kind of puts us in a dead end. I don't know if I got trapped in a room or not. So he goes ahead and he's heading towards the door, and he hears, hey, they're coming. And so he jumps around and goes around it, and he's hesitating because he's thinking we could just close the door and set up our own ambush inside the room, or not. But he can't tell exactly what Raymond and Runt are doing. And so he's just kind of in the hallway there, and behind him is Lynch. She's kind of in the middle, and this guy in full plate comes out of the sphere of darkness and turns towards the room. And we were going to end at that point because it was midnight and my eyeballs were burning. But the GM realized that Lynn would have done something. So she says something, and he looks over at her, and he turns to stone. He missed the saving throw. He turns to stone, and that's where we ended. This guy with the plate also had this like a magic sword. I don't remember now how it was described, but it was nasty looking special magic sword. So there's some discussion about breaking his arm off and then doing the flesh to stone thing on it to keep the sword. Okay, well that was our session last night. Happy gaming.